You're listening to Up in Your Business with me, Kerry McCoy, and I'm speaking today with Nate Coulter of Central Arkansas Library System, CALS, in downtown Little Rock. Before the break, we talked about his illustrious, is that the right word, for your career as a trial lawyer. And Nate's just a good storyteller. If you're just tuning in, you should go back and listen to him. He's a good storyteller. He's good at the library. That's a good place for him. So how does the library get funded? Millage rate? Grants?
Yes, both, but primarily from local property taxes. About 92% of our money, we have a budget now of between $23 and $24 million for operations, 325 employees, 15 buildings that you described in communities all over the county. The bulk of that money is coming from local property taxes. What I've said, and many people before me, is the library really is your best illustration of local control. If we do what we say we aspire to do, and we provide resources that help people reach their potential, then people will make that investment. If we don't, or if we tell you we're going to build something or provide something and we either do it in a poor way or we don't do it, then people will rightly say, well, wait a minute, we made this bargain to give you our tax dollars and you didn't deliver. And we are now getting more and more money from philanthropy, from grants, and that's a great thing. People are generous and they invest in things like the rocket lab that I mentioned earlier.
Do you do fundraisers?
We don't have a lot of fundraisers.
I've never seen the library do a fundraiser to speak of.
We will send out a year-end request for people to donate, and people are generous about that. What we do, though, in I think a more efficient way than we have been until recently, we look for opportunities for people to couple their interests with something the library can do. Let me give you an example. We started from scratch a math tutoring program during the pandemic. We got a generous grant from the Walton Family Foundation and essentially had 40 or 50 tutors, volunteers, who were doing it by Zoom virtually with students from grades 6 through 12 in schools all across the county, charter schools, public schools, private schools, and you just had to sign up. And the response we got from both tutors and the parents of these children who were lagging in math was phenomenally encouraging. People respond when you ask them, look, would you support something like that? The Walton Foundation funded that for a couple of years, and then we found other funders. And once you start something and it works and you've got metrics and evidence to show that it's successful, people will help you do it. Mm-hmm. And so that's the public-private partnership that we're proud of. The public is all in with the tax money that they give us, but we look for ways to leverage that with private donations, and we are in a community where people believe in a lot of things we do.
Let's talk about banning books. What's your opinion about all the book hullabaloo that's going on all the time? Look, it gets so serious.
If you go back in time, there have been periods in the history of libraries and humans where, for a variety of reasons, people had urges like this to take things away. Let's not read things that trouble some of us. Let's not think about things that trouble some of us.
Has the Bible ever been banned?
Yes, and there are lots of things that you would consider to be important in the Bible that could be banned by some of the standards of book banners. What's ultimately prevailed, and I think will again, is the notion that the library director doesn't decide, the school board doesn't decide, the librarians don't decide, and people in the community don't decide what other people or other people's children should read. A public library is, by its very definition, an accumulation with public resources of the written words, the expressions of a variety of people on a variety of topics from a variety of perspectives. And we don't look at the content and decide, well, we like this person's view and not that person's, so we'll just buy this person's books. Mm-hmm. We buy books. If there's, as I just said a few minutes ago, if there's something you're interested in and you want to read about, let us know. And so it's not healthy in the community, we think, that for an organization that tries to serve everybody in the community.
Can anybody ban books? Does the legislature ban a book? Is that the only way you could get a book banned?
Well, there are federal cases interpreting the First Amendment that have some application here, that you are entitled to read things, you're entitled to express things as an author. The issue of whether the public funding entitles the public to limit what people read is the question, I guess. And I think in community after community, most people don't think that we can anoint somebody to decide what the rest of us read. That's just not a democratic little d way we operate. We let people read what they want to read. It's a freedom issue. It's the freedom to read what you want to read. And the library does not pick and choose based on the content what we think you ought to read. Back to my story about that dear teacher who sent me thinking about where I should go to college. A lot of the books we check out every day are not books that Miss Bird would have been wanting me to read in high school. And they're not the fine literature that she wanted me to read. I just recently checked out a book about her favorite poet. There's a new biography on John Donne, this 16th century, 17th century British poet. And Miss Bird loved John Donne. She used to quote his poetry, unless a man's grasp exceed his reach, what's the reason for a heaven? So Miss Bird would love books like that. But she would not like lots and lots of books.
Harry Potter, she wouldn't like Harry Potter.
No, probably not. But Miss Bird doesn't get to decide. Nate Coulter doesn't get to decide. Kerry McCoy doesn't get to decide. Gray doesn't get to decide what everybody else should read. We just provide it. If you want to read it, read it. If it bothers you, don't read it. And we absolutely encourage people to be aware of what their kids are reading. If you don't want your kids reading certain books, then you have every right to do that, and the library will partner with you in trying to help you. We have information we can provide you about the online access for your kids, and we will help you, guide you, tell you how to be involved in that and make decisions that you want to make for your child. But we just don't want you to make it for my child or somebody else's child.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture of Kerry's face in the center of the screen. For more of Kerry's interviews, click either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.